You by now know the track by heart, and you have probably already started to speed it up a little bit, and with a little bit of luck you maybe already are close to the world lap record here at Okayama, running in the 1:48s. And if you're not, and you're having problem to pick up the speed on this track, I'm going to show what I do, and this is also, as before, a matter of patience. You must learn it step by step. Trying to rush it will only result in you going too fast into corners, going off track, not getting a nice flow in your driving. So this is what I do. There are probably hundreds of different ways, and every way to do it is good as long as you actually learn the track and you get the speed up. So what I do is I pick a high gear, 5th gear, and I try to pick up my speed having a large radius through the corners, and not slowing down too much, trying to learn what entry speed I actually can have, and to go get a good speed out of the corner by applying throttle at an early stage without spinning. And the reason for the high gear is that the higher the gear is, the less is the risk that you will lose grip in the rear entering the corner, because a low gear will give you more engine brake, and more engine brake will give you looser rear end. And also when you're accelerating out, a lower gear will give you more power to the rear tires, which can make you lose grip through power oversteer. 5th gear will not do that for you, and it will also force you to go on throttle early and get the nice line through the bend. The larger the radius is in the corner, the higher speed you can keep. This of course will change a little bit as you start using lower gears, but it's still a very good exercise. It also practices you to have patience and use the momentum of the car, not slowing it down. If you don't slow it down, you don't have to accelerate it again. You just keep the flow. It's a little bit like jiu-jitsu. Use the momentum and the force that is in the moving object, and just direct it in whatever direction you want it to go. So we talked a little bit about brake markers before, and when you first go on the track, going into a corner, the tarmac will be a little bit darker. This is from rubber being scrubbed off from the tires, of course, and the brake markers from the tires scrub off is early, since we also run GT cars and sports cars on the same tracks. So for example, on this long backside straight here, I think the braking markers start around 200 meters, which is very early for this slow car. But I suggest still that you start braking at that, here's the 200 marker, there is the darker tarmac, and you see that is of course way too early. But no waste anyway, just take the chance to get a nice radius through the turn and go on throttle early to keep the speed up. Same thing in the next corner, nice radius, keep the speed up, go on throttle. Let's see here, we have the dark tarmac around there. That is also way too early, but take the opportunity, practice the line through the corner and go on throttle early. By now you have probably noticed that when you go into the turn and you lift off throttle, the car would turn in a little bit extra into the corner. If you want to making got a little bit over the edge there, so I have to slow down a little bit. So if you want to make the car turn even more, you can tap the brake a little bit. This is also good, because now you have already learned how to use your left foot for braking. Here you have dark tarmac coming there. Way too early, of course, so we're gonna have to find a new brake marker for that as well. But as I said, most important, use the wide radius and go on throttle early to keep the momentum up of the car. So, going into this corner, what else can we look at except for the darker tarmac? We have a 100 meter mark here, as you can see, that you can start braking at. If that doesn't work, you can start braking a little bit after that, like here. If that also is too early, there you have a little bit of sand patch here, where the sand meets the white line. That is also a good place to start braking. Or you can brake after that, if you can get the car to slow down enough. Move the braking marker forwards, tiny steps at a time. Remember what one you are using for each corner. Move them slightly, bit by bit. It's no hurry. You are in the game to play the game. So now you're playing it and you are improving all the time. The more laps you spend on the track, the better you're going to be at it once you get out in a proper race. So it's not a waste of time. So over here we tried where the black starts. Now we tried where the 100 meters are. It's still a little bit early. So next time we will try somewhere in between the 50 mark and the 100 mark. Here we do a little tap brake at the sand patch. Well, worked a little bit better. Here we do a little tap brake just where we hit the curb on the right side. Oops. And on this corner, let's try at the 50 mark this time. Well, better, still way too early. So learning these different markers is also very good, because you might have to move them eventually as you get better exit speeds. Your entry speed will be higher, so you will have to modify the braking markers a little bit. So when you get that going, start pushing for lap times, still in the 5th gear. It's quite fun actually. You will have to keep the momentum up, as I said now several times. This is going to be good for you when you start using lower gears, still having the same line, also learning what line actually is gives you the highest corner speed, and also to get on throttle. If you have friends in game, then compete on who can get the highest or the best lap time in 5th gear. It's quite fun. Early on throttle again. And you see the acceleration up the hill is very poor, but that's okay. That gives you, forces you to be even earlier on throttle, faster through the previous corner. Braking marker between the 100 and the 50. It's better, still very early. Was a little bit too fast through that corner. I'm losing time, so I'll do it better next time. A little bit of an off track there. 50 marker this time, a little bit after it, still a little bit early. Oops, that was not a good corner, but I'll try again next lap. So when you get the lap times down a little bit and you feel you can't push it anymore, you can actually get quite good lap times. Many of my the members of the AAA, they do lap times in 5th gear around 1:55. There are many other beginners that don't do that, even using all the gears. So when you have improved as much as you think you're going to be able to improve, then start using 2 gears. So the next one will be gear number 4. So 4th and 5th gear. So acceleration out of the corners, of course, is going to be better. Still, don't forget to keep the long radius and to go on throttle early. And you see now that we have actually a better acceleration up the hill. I didn't mention this before, but I'm using one of the options here to compare my speed on the track. If you press the tab on your keyboard, oops, sorry, that was fourth gear, old habit. Sorry, third gear, old habit, I'm going to say fourth. Tab on your keyboard, you will have different options in the bottom left corner. I am using versus session best lap. I think that is more fun instead of using best lap I ever did, because then I will start to push too hard to start with. So I usually start with a quite slow lap and start building it up piece by piece. I do that every time I'm on track. So the bar you're seeing in the screen now is the bar is green because I'm going faster this lap than I did in any of the previous laps. And you can see the numbers are green, and that is because I'm approaching a lap time faster than my previous best. So I will improve my previous best lap time with 2 seconds, a little bit more than that. So my best lap time now with 2 gears is 1:53.331. So keep doing this with 2 gears, you can probably get down to 1:52s, maybe even under that. Also more fun with your friends. How much can you improve? And using this versus session best lap shows you immediately when you're doing something right, because the bar turns green when you're picking up, and when you're ahead of your previous lap, the numbers are green as well. And if you try an alternative line through a bend and you see everything turning red, then you did something wrong. There is a ghost car options. Oops, that was way too late. Which I really don't like. I think it's just in the way it's annoying. This is a simulator, and it's supposed to simulate real-life racing, and there are no ghost cars in real-life racing. I think it's, well, my opinion, of course, but I think it's stupid. This is not a video game from the 90s. But that is just me. Everyone are entitled to their own opinion. So we are half a second ahead of our last lap, so we're looking at a 1:52 lap, only using 2 gears. And when you have improved here as much as you can, you have a nice smooth racing line, you start using the 3rd gear. And that will be gear number 3. Not actually going to be using that so many times on this track anyway. There are a few positions where it can come in handy. We will see after this lap. Here's one place. Now we will see the bar turning green, since we are now having much more power to get out of the corner. And we will have the green bar with us all along the straight, since our exit speed now is higher. That is why it's so important to have a good exit speed. Also notice that since you're in a lower gear, when you lift off, the car will turn in even quicker, and you will be closer to the edge, so to say, and therefore you will have to start balance the car more than you did before. That is what I said before. The higher gear you use, the more stable the car is going to appear. It's good when you're new on track and new with the car to use higher gears until you get used to the car and the track and how the car behaves. So you can even use second gear at some positions of the track to get the car to rotate more. But be patient. It usually takes many hundreds of laps until you have the lap down properly, the track properly. Just be patient and keep it up. Next little bit, we are going to talk about getting into the first race and what to think about, or we're going to actually look at doing practice sessions with other cars on track first. So, welcome back to the next video. Thanks for watching.